Good afternoon. Guess what time it is? It's time for Take Home Tuesday at 2. We are coming to you from Hen Chicks Studio here in Conrad, Iowa, and we are so happy to be sharing another project with you today. Now, if you've missed our past episodes, they're available on our website. You can refer to them. We want to give you so many ideas that are just fun, simple, quick, easy projects. And if you recall, we've talked about it before. Some may include sewing, some may not include sewing. It may be for very, very beginners, but it will never be anything that is so advanced you can't get it done in just a couple hours or even less. So today we have a very fun project that I'm telling you, you could probably even get done in 5 minutes if you don't spend a lot of time picking out fabric.
5-minute project. Chris, grab something out of your stash.
And we are here in central Iowa, and depending on where you're watching us from, this may not be as cuddly as you might, toasty as you might want it, but we're kind of going into winter here, and the temperatures tend to drop, and we like something to keep us a little warm. So today we're actually bringing you a super simple project that will help keep you warm. We are going to be making some neck warmers, and you've heard these referred to as all different sorts of things, but it's rice that we have in it. We'll throw it in the microwave, heat it up for a neck warmer. We also have, we're calling this a bonus little hand warmer, but you could just make hand warmer size if you wanted to. And Kelly, what is that one?
Well, at our house, we like to use this little 9-inch size, and a little one can use it right on his tummy if he's got an upset tummy. Or do you have ones with earaches? Heat it up, draw the heat and the pain out of the ear.
Kelly, I don't even think it needs to be little ones, because I could use it on my tummy sometimes, or just the comfort of the heat and the toastiness of just, you know, we may or may not have thrown these in the microwave before we came up here to do this today.
Possibly.
So as we're talking about this today, just think of it. It literally will take you. It is so simple. In fact, we showed it. We had them last night here in Golden, Virginia. We're here, and they went home and started making them. So it does not take very long, and we really wanted to give you something quick and easy that you can use some scraps for, or if you you can always buy if you wanted to, but it's not something that requires a lot of tools or a lot of skills to do. If you can handle a funnel and put rice in
on hand.
Yep. So we're going to get started today, and we're actually going to kind of walk you through a little bit more step by step. And again, this will be on our website after we get concluded today, so you can refer back to it, and you can share it with your friends as much as you would like to. So we are using a flannel, because flannel has that nice cuddly warm to it, and we are going to actually be using a quarter of a yard. From this quarter of a yard, you will be able to get 2 full neck warmers, 2 squares plus the bonus hand pack. That's from a quarter of a yard. The measurements of, if you don't have a quarter of a yard and you have things in your stash, are on the website as well, will be listed. But we're working with 9-inch strips, if that helps you at all. So the first thing that we would do is we would come in and we would and cut a 9-inch strip. I guess we don't have to be quite so perfect, but that's okay. So now we have our 9-inch strip cut. And if you're unfamiliar with fabric, or you just need a little reminder, this is what we call the salvage edge. And we want to get rid of this very first thing. So then we're going to come back in, and we're just going to trim off our salvage edge. Okay, so now we have one long strip, and we've got rid of our salvage edge. From here, very simple, to make it easy on ourselves, we're just going to cut it in half. And we don't even have to use you could use scissors if you need it, and just come through and cut it in half. If I could do it, get the fabric open, it would be helpful, wouldn't it?
Well, sometimes.
Isn't this how it goes at home, though? Anybody else have these problems? You're standing there. Okay, so now we've cut it in half, and we have 2 approximately 21-inch by 9-inch strips. If we're making, right now I'm talking as if you're making the neck one. Now, of course, guys, you can adapt this to however you want to do it. If you wanted to make it longer, that is up to you. We're just giving you the measurements that we're using. everything is always adaptable to what is suiting you, if it's wanted bigger or smaller. From here then, we're right now talking about the neck strips. We're going to fold it like a hot dog or right sides together. Okay, so as your Kelly's, here we go. Before we sew anything, well, actually, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to sew, but we don't have the sewing machine, so we're going to pretend we're sewing one end closed and down the long side, leaving the far end open. Okay, so we have that somewhere. Now, what I have done from that is I have taken it. It is now sewn. I should have used a darker contrasting thread so you could have seen it. It is sewn. And I have taken this top part and folded it back 1/4 of an inch and pressed that back.
Why'd you do that, Jamie?
You know, I bet somebody's wondering that. It's not because I'm crazy, but it could be said that. It's because when I turn this inside out, which is going to be our next step. So let's review, and then I'll tell you why. So we've cut our strip, we've removed our salvage, we've made a hot dog. From our hot dog, we've sewn how many sides together?
2.
Just 2. Just 2 at 1/4 inch. We've come in and we've folded it down 1/4 inch and pressed it. Now, why did I do that? Because next thing we're going to do is we're going to turn this inside out. And when I go to finish this or to sew that side back together, why would I have pressed that side down, do you think?
Oh, look how easy it's going to be to sew that shut now after we get done.
So now it's already ready for me. It has a nice firm edge here, and I will not have that exposed seam as if I just sewed it together. So everything will be tight in here and smooth at the end. So now we have our tube, and we always take like I use whatever I have around. And right now I happen to have a spatula, and kind of get a nice little tug at the corners. Again, we're not super worried if you've done a lot of quilting or seamstress work. A lot of times you want those points super pointy. We didn't trim the corners on this one because we're filling it with rice and putting it around our neck. Now the next part you could have a little mess from if you're not careful. And we might speak from experience on this as well. So we need to fill this with rice. If you have a funnel at home, that would work wonderful, but because I didn't have a funnel, we are using a piece of cardstock or even construction paper, and we just simply made a cone out of it by rolling it. We're going to insert that into here, and then get ready for the amount of rice we have, because we're going to be making a lot of these. We have 25 pounds of rice here. So we're going to take from here, and actually, as we go into here, we're going to do, okay, Kelly, I can't do that high. I'm not that tall. All these tall people around here. Okay, we're going to just pour this in, and I'm going to let you do this. We're going to pour this into our homemade funnel. A few pieces fell, and then you can just kind of suck it down.
How much do you think goes in here?
It's actually 4 cups, so we're going to put 4 cups of rice into this. See how many little pieces of rice I can get without, that one was really bad because I can't see because I'm not doing it myself, but that's okay. See, this is like confetti. Fun. You can just throw it around or whatever you want to do. Glitter. Okay, Kelly's going to go ahead and put another cup in because I can't see them. And now, Kelly, you did just as bad job as I did there.
We're making a mess.
You could see, and we are kind of hustling with this. It really doesn't have to make this big of a mess. But you can see where it could be fun if you have it with your kids at home to do. I usually kind of let this down, and I'm not trying to do it above where I'm, there we go. And then just shake it in there. Anybody having fun watching us yet? Anybody laughing at our chaos and our mess and our 25-pound bag of rice? Okay, so now I have my rice in there, and my last step to this project is just to sew that top shut.
That quick?
That quick, that simple. You might have to pick up some stuff, and if you wanted to do this with your children, why not?
Just go out to the garage.
Yeah, or go outside. Now, some other things and ideas that you could use with this. Okay, so I'm going to hand that to you, Kelly. Would you bring back the one that we have that's finished already?
Yeah.
So if I wanted to do it with the squares. And we talked about this. With the square, you can actually get 2 packets plus the bonus out of the quarter cut of fabric. So we're gonna show you a couple steps are just a little bit different. And so on that, you're gonna cut your 1/4 yard of fabric, and I'm gonna actually just cut across it 2 times 9 inches. So it would be like this if it was out, okay?
What would be an easy way to do that if you didn't have a rotary cutter and the other the ruler? You could just kind of just measure off with a regular ruler.
Oh yeah.
And draw a line and use scissors. No fancy tools
you don't have to. And then we're going to place our right sides together. Now the little bit different, and you're going to see this, we've already built the directions for you on our website. When we sew this one, we do not want to leave one whole side open. It might make it easier to get the rice in, but it's a little bit harder to close once you have the rice in there. So on this, and again, I probably should have used contrasting fabric, but I have, and this is similar to what we did last week, I left just that little opening right here. And I hope you can kind of tell and see that. So that this is where my funnel is going to go. So I've done the same things as I did with the other ones. It's just a different measurement. So again, we're showing you it's adaptable to any size that you want. But this one I've sewed on all 4 sides, but I've left approximately 2.5, 3 inches open here on the top. That will allow me to turn it inside out and then repeat the process with filling the rice.
What are other options that we could put inside there besides rice, Jami?
I think you can use like the, is it cocoa beans or the shells? There's different things. You can look it up. There's different things that people put on there. Rice is a very effective and inexpensive certain one to do it. And again, we don't worry too much about, I'd like to still get the corners poked out nicely, but I didn't clip them this time because I'm not finishing all 4 edges. And then I would fill this with rice. At this point, I would, before I put anything in it though, I'm going to bring this back in, again, to make it easier when you want to finish the project and sew it, I would go to my iron. I've got that kind of 1/4 inch folded in already, and press this side that I need to close down, because that will help me later to be able to get a good seam. And when we do finish this one, we sewed all the way across.
We did.
Even though we only needed this little part, we just sewed all the way across. I actually did it about 1/8 of an inch, just enough to get it sewn together nicely. If you like to hand sew, you can hand sew it, or however you want to finish it. That's just how we do it. Quick and easy is my theme right now. Okay. A couple different things I'd like to give as different ideas, Kelly. We know both you and I have talked about essential oils and the uses of essential oils and stuff. If you wanted to add essential oils, what we would recommend is not to put it on the fabric itself. So if you wanted to use some essential oils, and we still used 4 cups of rice in the square as well. I should mention that. So if you wanted to use some essential oils, we would actually take them and put them in a bowl first, and then we would just put a few drops of the essential oil right into and take up.
And I'd let it sit and let the rice absorb the oil real quick.
And kind of just stir it around so it gets evenly dispersed in there. Okay, so that is another way that you can get it. And then you would have like the, if you're familiar with the essential oils or you use them, some people are much more knowledgeable than I, but for instance, we had the lavender right now, which is supposed to be soothing, right?
And relaxing, or some peppermint would be good too.
Yep. So just another idea, and then you could go ahead and fill that in. Now, Kelly, what is the best part? Because we've talked about everything, but we forgot to tell them, all you have to do is throw it in the microwave.
How easy is that? And your little ones can do it for themselves as well.
Yep. And so we probably recommend around 2 minutes in the microwave. Again, this is kind of a thing that depends on how hot you want it. I personally like mine as toasty as I can get it.
And be careful, sometimes you can get a hot spot with rice. So before you put it on your little one, make sure you kind of jimmy the rice around a little bit.
You keep saying little one. You must have little ones.
I do. I have little ones with earaches at our house, and these work good.
So another good thing, oh, I picked up the wrong one. You never know what's going to happen on life, do ya? But as you put this around your neck and you can watch TV, you can take it to bed with you. But I have to tell you something that I've actually done, and maybe it'll be a secret somebody else can use, because it does get cold out sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
So if you throw it in the microwave and you put it in your hooded sweatshirt pocket,
go for a
and
walk.
then you zip your coat up over it, guess what? You stay nice and warm.
Or if you have a sinus headache, kind of like the day this morning was, this little size fits perfect right over your sinuses.
Idea. See, we're full of ideas around here, and full of apparently rice everywhere, but that's okay. So if you have any questions regarding this, I'm trying to think, Kelly, is there anything? Oh, what kind of fabric did we use?
Yeah.
We did talk, we used flannel, and we mentioned that earlier. Can you use just regular cotton?
Sure.
Absolutely. We just like flannel for the
cozy,
the warmth of it. Now, we know that you can use cuddle. We have not personally tried it, so I can't tell you exactly how that will work. I have used polar fleece before, and it worked, but it tended to kind of get that moisture that's in the microwave a little bit. A little fair warning too, the first time you microwave, you might get a little ricey smell. But to me, the warmth is it's worth it to me. So again, all of this will be on our website. I feel like we should throw this up in the air and have a party, like, you know, all that. It'll be on our website after this. We hope that you enjoy these videos. And like we said, we never know what might happen during these. So come back. You might find some new entertainment. So for today, we'll see you next. Well, actually, we'll see you at our next episode of Take Home Tuesday at 2. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye, guys.